With us now is Matt Fraser. Hey, Matt, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing so incredibly well. I am blessed. I love the fact I was just looking at this and it says, we never die. So obviously, we've probably met before because I believe, like you do, that I have lived many lifetimes. I've even lived a lot of lifetimes in the span of my own human body this time. I
I
have had,
believe that.
yeah, I've had so many extraordinary things happen. It's so much fun. And sometimes I wake up and I look around my room and I'm like, wait, did I leave that dirty clothes pile there and not put it in the washing machine last night? Like there's like these moments where I'll walk into a space and I'll feel like I've been gone for 3 days and then I'm back. It's bizarre. But so you are here and you are what's considered, I was just going to say, I'm just going to read this because it's really impressive. America's top psychic medium from Entertainment's TV. You are performing in Times Square. You're doing so many beautiful things in your life. And it's heartfelt joy just sitting, even doing this with you across the miles. But you're kind of a big deal now. So, Matt, when did you realize that this was going to be your journey? How old were you?
So I was just 3 years old when I started seeing and hearing the spirit worlds. But you got to know that being that young, I had no idea what was going on. I never knew that I was a psychic or a medium. I mean, my grandmother had this gift, my mom had this gift. But when I say that, this was not something that they did professionally. It's actually something that they ran away from and kept a secret. My grandmother only did this for close friends and family members, and she actually kept this so secret that not even her own husband, my grandfather, knew that she was a medium. And the reason
Wow.
why is that back in those days, you couldn't talk about sensing your loved ones, feeling your loved ones, or just about what you talked about right now, about, having these weird experiences or these, out of body experiences. It was something that was kept on the down low. Everybody kept it hush hush. And so did my family for many years. So growing up, I too had that ability, but I got to tell you, I was petrified. I remember going to bed at night, being 3, 4, 5 years old, and yelling and screaming and crying because of the fact that I was seeing and hearing the departed. And it was crazy because literally I felt like I was living that movie, The Sixth Sense. I was that boy.
Yeah. I can imagine. And for some people, the gift does come on that strong. For me, I was like 12. I mean, and I don't do this professionally at all, but there are so many times now that I say, oh, I'm going to write that down. I'm going to write a book because it happens. The serendipity in my life happens consistently, right?
Well, you know
Or
what? That's one of the reasons why I wrote my book, because the more that we share about our own experiences, and the more that we share about the signs that we receive, the ways that we get in touch with spirit, what we see, sense, and feel, the more that we all together learn about the spirit world, we learn about heaven, and we learn about the afterlife. And when that starts to happen, something else starts to happen. To us, we start to feel more connected to our loved ones in spirit. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't feel like a faraway place. And that's one of the things that I'm so excited about. Like, I love going on social media and talking to my following and my fan base all about this because we're all receiving signs. We're all tapping in and out of the spiritual world. And what's so amazing is that we all have a little psychic phone line that connects us to our loved ones in heaven, where literally they're trying to get in touch with us just like we're trying to get in touch with them. And once you realize your gift or the way that you connect with the spirit world, that's the way that you're able to receive messages yourself. And the more that we talk about these experiences, the more that we all learn together. And I love that part.
I've been tracing my DNA. I've been doing my 23andMe and my Ancestry.com. Recently, I found a piece of information that I've been looking for, no joke, since I was 16 years old, okay?
Wow.
So I had researched this person and trying to find the information, trying to find the information, trying to find the information. All of a sudden, I went click, 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 and then lo and behold, there was this article, and I knew that it was about my particular person that I had been looking for as long as I can remember. And my son Matthew was on his way to school, and I said, oh, Eureka! I said, I found it. I found the missing piece. And because of Google Earth, what's so cool is I was able to zero down right into that locale of where that person lived. And I
Wow.
got to see the corner street. So by taking that connection that we have and connecting the dots, if you will. So your book, how excited are you about that?
I'm so excited. So literally, as a medium, people come to me for answers. And I decided to write this book because I wanted to write a book that other mediums won't talk about. People come to me with really push button questions, Donna, like what happens when you die? What happens to souls that pass of suicide? What happens when we didn't get to say goodbye? What about our pets? What about, souls that didn't speak English here in this world? Can you as a medium communicate with them? What happens if you've had 4 or 5, different marriages? Who do you end up with on the other side? What is a soulmate? Is there a soulmate? Every day I'm asked all of these questions. And, I think that's what makes people so fearful about death. And the number one question that I'm asked is about what happens when we transition onto the other side. People say to me, Matt, well, you talk about you leaving your physical body behind. You talk about us being energy. Well, what does that mean? Are we air? Are we energy like, lights or a computer? What are you talking about? I'm going to miss my body. I'm going to miss this. Heaven seems like a scary place. And really, it's not. We're not so different. We're not dead. We're just different in a different way. We're still our same person because when we transition on, we bring with us to heaven the love that's within our hearts, the connections that we made here in this world, and our memories and our personality. So I decided to write this book called We Never Die, Secrets of the Afterlife. And that's literally what this is. It's filled with all of the questions that you've been literally dying to ask a psychic medium. And literally in this book, I've taken all those questions, I've asked the spirit world, about them, and I wrote this book, this tell-all book. And I can't take all the credit because literally it's the souls that gave me this information.
I'm just laughing because when you said, when you've been married more than once, and I have been married more than once, and I did have a spouse that died, and one time my spouse that died came through and said, hey, listen, I'm not sharing you when you get up here. I just thought that was the funniest message ever, right? But I'm sure that there's room for everyone that we love, and then we'll all be in one big happy place together. Matt, what are you looking forward to in your journey right now?
So right now it's about reaching as many people as possible because there are hurting people all around the world. And unfortunately, when you lose a loved one, it feels like you lose a piece of your heart. So many times when you lose a loved one, you miss out on joy in life because you feel like you can't experience life without that person. And that's what I want to give back to people. I got to be honest with you, Donna, I couldn't do what I do every day without sensing and feeling my own loved ones with me. I receive signs from them. I, talk to them. I feel them guiding me and watching over me. And I want that same thing for everybody. I want everybody to feel a closeness with their loved ones and to know that your loved ones are not gone. Your loved ones are only just a thought away. And they're closer to you now than they were in life. And a lot of people say, well, how is that true? I lost my husband. How is that true? I lost my son. The reason why is because of the fact that they're with you in the car when you're driving. They're with you before you go to bed at night when you're thinking about them. They're with you when, you're attending your daughter's graduation ceremony and watching her go walk across the stage. They're with you on your birthday. They're with you through the greatest moments in life, the biggest challenges through life, and through all of those uncertain times that we go through here in this world. And that's what's so special.
When's your birthday, Matthew?
July 8th.
July 8th.
But don't ask me how old I am because I'll tell you, I just turned 30 this year, all right? Yay! I just turned 30. That's the hardest thing. You're saying yay. I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Your psychic medium is getting old.
No, I'm saying yay. I'm just saying yay because, I love celebrating birthdays because we are born on one day, we die on one day. But if someone talks to you, we never die. We go on and on and on. I liked what you said about how spirit can visit us in many different ways, whether it's, a light, or sometimes they talk through electricity, sometimes they talk through, a song, or like my mother had a big yellow gigantic Mack truck drive next to me the other day when I had good news. And on the end of it was this big gigantic yellow rose because she communicates to me through yellow roses, right? So it's winter, so maybe she couldn't find a yellow rose. So instead she sends an entire Big Mac truck. And I was like, oh, that's Mom. Thanks, Mom, So
well, what's so crazy? That's what I talk about in my book, Donna, is that one of the things that people don't realize is when we get to the other side, one of the first things that your loved ones do in spirit is they actually choose the signs that they're going to use to reach you, which is really cool. And not only do they choose the signs that they're going to reach you, they choose the signs that they're going to reach other family members as well. So you might get yellow roses from your mom, and your sister might get a certain song from your mother because they choose different ways to communicate with us based on the relationship that we had with them here in this world. And that's what's so special.
I
And I
love
want to
that.
explain that to people because that's sometimes where people don't feel the signs. Because some people will say, Matt, I'm so upset. My sister, she keeps hearing from my dad, and this certain song keeps playing, and she gets cardinals, and she gets this, and she gets that, and I get nothing. What happened? My dad went up there and forgot about me? And it's no, it's that your dad is sending you a different sign than your sister. Don't compare your signs to other people. It's a personal connection. And that's what's so amazing is that our loved ones love to communicate with us using those personal ways because that signifies to us that, we have our own lifeline to communicate with them whenever, wherever we need to.
You're right. And the signs sometimes do come through, but you just have to be open and ready to hear them or see them or know what they are. So I thank you so much, Matt. Bless you and happiness to you. Thank you for joining us. And you've got some big shows coming up, and I know that a lot of people are going to be helped by your messages. Are there any final thoughts that you'd like to share with me before we close?
No, the only thing is that I'm so excited to be coming to New York City for the very first time because as you know, with COVID, everything was shut down. I had to go off the road for a little bit. So the fact that I'm able to finally get back into the city, to get back on tour, I'm so excited because what's so amazing is that, being in a room with all people and connecting with their loved ones is literally like a family reunion with heaven. And what I would want to remind people is that when you attend a live event, for example, I'm coming to Palladium on April 30th, it does not matter where you sit. It matters that you're there because if there's a message from your loved one in spirit, you will receive it. It's amazing, Donna, because I could be talking to somebody in the front row that had lost their mom. It's the next thing you know, being in the back corner with someone who had lost their dad. It's the next thing you know, being up on the balcony with someone who had lost their son. I never know who's going to come through, who's going to step forward, and what soul is going to speak. And just as excited as the people get, I think I get even more excited because for me, every single event is different. For me, it's so much more than just a show. It's literally a family reunion, and that's what I like to think of it as.
Thank you. And you have my personal email. So as you're ending your day today, if somebody stops by your parlor, just email me and send them on, okay? I'll get the message. Thank you so, so much. It was a pleasure to have you on the show. Bye, Matt.
Thank you for having me on.
Okay,
Bye-bye.
bless you. Bye-bye.